Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, you already know what's going on. The Meteor is getting crazy close to the game, and that means we just had to make a video on it. So today, as you guys can tell from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be going through a bunch of things that you might not know about the Meteor that is going to hit the map very, very soon. So yeah, we've got some Easter eggs, like some dates of when stuff is going to happen, what's going to happen with the Meteor, just a ton of things that I don't think most of you will know. And even if you do know some of them, hopefully you learn something new from this video. And speaking of that, when we do these list type videos, we always include a little bit of a game with it to see how much of these you know, how much of a Fortnite expert you are. So the rules of the game, just a reminder, are if you learn something new from this video, if you didn't know one of these facts or things about the Meteor, you leave a like on the video so we can see just how many people learned something new. However, if you're a Fortnite expert and you know every single thing in this video, you leave a comment down below saying so. That way we know who exactly is the Fortnite experts by who left comments like that. So it's a ton of fun. Be sure to participate in that, and without further ado, let's jump into it with the first thing I don't think you guys know about the Meteor. Alright, so let's start off with a fairly easy one. We can't get into the crazy ones just yet, but this is one that I think might trip up some of you, because it's one of those things that a lot of people will notice right away, but it's also something that a lot of people won't notice, if you know what I mean. It's kind of hidden in plain sight. But basically, if you guys have been following the Fortnite game Twitter account, they've been tweeting out a ton of stuff on Season 4. Obviously, Season 4 is coming out very, very soon, so it would make sense that they would hype it up. But within these images that started, the first one we got to see on Season 4 was, I think, April 26th, so just a couple of days ago. But since then, they've been tweeting out new variations of this first image that they tweeted out that day. So as you can see in this image, obviously it has the superhero in it with his nice, pretty dope mask on right there, as you can see. And then actually, real quick before we get into the thing, if you haven't seen the recent images, they put up two more, like this one right here. You can see another superhero, which is like one of the female superhero characters. Kind of looks like Wonder Woman, so to say. I mean, you obviously can't see very much of it, but she does have like a weird little stone type thing on her forehead. But yeah, then along with that, they tweeted out one just a little bit ago today with another guy right here that kind of looks like that secret agent type one that came into the store few weeks ago, but I don't think that's actually what it is. I think it is a brand new superhero. So obviously they're going to be tweeting out two extra superheroes for the two sections that are left, but that's not what we're talking about. I want to talk about the shape of these sections that the superheroes are in. Did you notice that it's actually a meteor? And I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you caught that right away, but I know some people missed it because it is so hidden in plain sight. It kind of just looks like a random design thing to show off these new characters, but it does for sure confirm that the superheroes are coming to stop the meteor, which is something I think is pretty cool. We haven't at all seen like any real confirmation from Epic about the Meteor and the superheroes being connected, even though obviously it makes sense, but I think this right here is obvious confirmation about that. So that is the first thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. Did you notice that these promotional pictures actually involve the Meteor and the superheroes and how they're going to stop it? Now getting into number two, this one has to do with those TVs that you've been seeing around the map with the distress signal on them. Now this one is pretty complicated, so I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, but with these TVs, I know a ton of people have been talking about if there's like some meaning in the image itself. That's not what we're going to be talking about because nothing of that has been confirmed or actually really makes sense. But there is something still interesting about these changed TVs, and that is the sound they make when you get close to them. So I'm sure you guys have experienced this when you walk by these TVs. They make that weird sound, like distress signal type sound. Well, there's actually some meaning behind that. So for this one, big credit to a guy named Josmol123 for actually decoding the message from this distress signal, and it's actually pretty interesting. So within these sounds, they're actually called emergency alert tones. There's actually a way of decrypting them because they're technically called modem tones, which can be deciphered. So using a certain program to decipher these, Josmol123 deciphered the alert that is coming from these TVs in the game. And the message you get here is a bunch of crazy random stuff, random letters, random numbers, and just, you know, everything in between. However, there actually is some significance to these letters and numbers. There's codes to them. So what he was able to find is that the ZCZC is the beginning of an emergency alert system. Then after that, the CIV is the civil authorities have issued, basically like the government, obviously, but they've issued a required monthly test for a bunch of different numbers. And then after that, plus 0100 is duration of 1 hour, which doesn't make sense because these are obviously going on constantly. And then you have a date and time, which for this one seems to be June 13th, 1516. And then finally after that, broadcast station is the last thing, which is Wavy TV 10. Now what does that all mean? Well, basically nothing. To be completely honest, it seems like this is more so just like Epic bought the rights to use this emergency alert sound from like a stock website where they have a bunch of sounds like that. So it seems like this doesn't have anything specifically to do with the game, but it is an emergency alert, which does make it have to do with the meteor, but it's just a funny thing to see. I think it would have been really cool if they did include something in it, but you know, not everything can be an Easter egg, unlike the thing that's coming up next. So moving on to number 3, this one is fairly similar to the one we just went over in terms of it being something that needs to be deciphered. Now this one is for sure an Easter egg, and it's so stupid. It's just such a random Easter egg, Epic. I don't know why you included it, but it is a good one. So this one has to do with the meteor itself, but basically, as I'm sure you guys have seen, the meteor in the sky, it's beautiful. It looks like it's coming to just absolutely wreck everything, but you may have noticed if you look at the meteor, it makes this certain sound. Now with this sound, a bunch of people have actually deciphered it, and they've gotten a meaning out of the sound itself, which is super weird. Super weird. I can't believe Epic actually went to the work of putting that in, and that people actually figured it out and deciphered it. Because in order to decipher a sound, there's a very specific way of doing it. So for this one, credit to Lucas7 Yoshi for being the first person to find this. But basically what he did is he took the sound that comes from the comment when you're aiming at it and put it into a spectrograph. Now a spectrograph is a way of like visualizing sound and different sound waves. And what that allows you to do is actually see, not hear, but see secret messages hidden within sounds. So the secret that he was able to find is the take the L dance in the comet sound. I'm not even kidding. This is fully legit. You can actually try this yourself. In fact, other people have tried this. Like another guy by the name ISO Pringles did this himself, and you can see on his even that it has the same exact take the L frames from the original one. So this is a for sure thing. This is something you can do right now, and it is such a weird Easter egg. It's pretty hilarious and kind of actually like pokes fun out of all the theories we've been making. But yeah, it's definitely an awesome find, and it's crazy that people actually figured it out. As for the next one, let's go back to a fairly simple one. We just went over a bunch of complicated ones, so let's get back to some easy ones that I'm sure a bunch of you might know, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to include it anyways. So this one is the official date for the meteor hitting. Do you guys know when the meteor is actually going to hit? Because, as a lot of you have seen in the past, there was this one post that claimed to decipher this like rumbling on the map. You know, if you went to a certain spot of the map, it would make your controller rumble in like Morse code or something. This one person thought he deciphered it and said that the meteor was going to hit, I think, April 18th. It might have been April 16th, but obviously that is not true. So do you guys know the official date? It should be pretty obvious that the date that the meteor is going to hit is on April 30th, in 2 days when Season 4 is officially released. That should be pretty obvious based on everything we've seen. Obviously the meteor is getting closer. Obviously the superheroes have now shown up to stop the meteor, at least in like the promotional stuff. And we're also having even more meteors, like for example the ones that have actually been hitting the map recently. So everything is starting to pick up pace, and it makes obvious sense that the meteor stuff will be happening with Season 4. So yeah guys, pretty simple one for number 4, not a lot to it, but if you guys didn't know it, there you go. Now as for number 5, this is my personal favorite secret of this video, but this one has to do with the meteor not hitting tilted. I know, that's crazy. We've been thinking the meteor is going to hit tilted all of this time, but that is simply not true. There's a bunch of stuff that proves that wrong, and starting out here is that, well, just take a look at the meteor in game like right now. You can see that it's actually changed its course. It used to be more slanted horizontally and did look like it was heading towards tilted, but now when you look at it, it's facing more straight down. And when you're on the map and you're looking at where it's facing, it is facing Dusty Depot. That's right guys, Dusty Depot is going to be destroyed instead of tilted. Now I know what some of you guys are saying, but we've been thinking it's tilted the entire time. Well, what proof did we ever actually have that it was going to hit tilted? Was it that one post that we just talked about with the rumbling on the map? Because I believe that was like the first instance of somebody coming up with it hitting tilted, and since they were wrong about the date, it definitely doesn't make sense that they would be right about where it's going to hit. Also along with this, why would they get rid of tilted? It's one of the most popular places to go on the map, which means a lot of people would be upset if it's removed. I know as many people hate it as many people love it, but it wouldn't make sense to upset those people that love it just for like no reason at all. However, with Dusty, it's a point on the map that really needs an update. Like super bad. Nobody really goes there for loot, at least you shouldn't be going there there for loot. It makes no sense. There's barely anything there. So why wouldn't Epic update it? This gives them the perfect excuse to do so without upsetting anybody, and it would honestly be a ton of fun to see a new location like the Meteor Zone and create something new to explore. So yeah guys, Dusty is going to be gone. What do you think about that? But getting into the final thing of this video, the sixth and final thing is that there are confirmed Meteor assets in the game's files. So in case you were in any doubt that the Meteor is actually going to be something that hits the map, you can take a look at these images that were found by Iron Rectangle. So with these images, as you can see, the first one here is sort of like this weird cone type shape, but you can for sure see that it is named SM Comet Phase 2. And what's weird about this is that it is a 3D model. It's not the thing in the sky. It's not that like image on the skybox or whatever you want to call it. It's a 3D model, which we haven't seen yet, which means we still can see this. So when Season 4 happens, is this going to be the thing that hits the map? Or is this just the models for the meteors that have already been hitting? I'm not 100% sure. I don't believe I've seen this like cone type shape. We could have actually seen the second one, which is like the SM Comet Center. This could be the one that's hitting the map currently, but I still think that these could be holding out for that giant meteor for when it's coming. I don't think the meteor would just like not show up. So with that being said, it would make sense that these assets are going to be used with the official meteor. Now along with this, the more egg-shaped one was found under the map. Now for some reason I can't seem to find images of this under the map, and when you go under the map currently it's no longer there, but this was supposedly under the map right under Tilted, which was another reason people thought that Tilted was going to get destroyed. But since it's not there anymore, it could have just been like randomly placed there for like a test or just a placeholder for whatever reason. However, since it's not there anymore, it definitely does make sense that again it's not going to hit Tilted but instead hit Dusty. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see these assets in the game and see that something is for sure coming. We can be sure of that. But anyways guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Be sure to leave a like if you learned something new and comment if you knew all of these. And also if you want to see more Fortnite videos, be sure to subscribe by clicking that circle on the center of your screen, or you can check out some of my previous videos such as on the left, going through 6 of the craziest glitches ever to happen in Fortnite, and then on the right an awesome top 15. But other than that guys, hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one.